Ready?
All right, FightHype.com here with David and Anthony Benavidez and wife as well. But David, man, I know you've been on weight for about 2 days now. How are you feeling in terms of being comfortable at 68 for this fight?
I'm excited, man. I feel like this camp, everything happened. Everything was taken care of perfectly. Training camp was about 4 months and a half. We took care of the weight since the beginning. Now I feel like I could just, save my body and just relax the whole time until the fight. That's something I didn't really do back then because I was worried about losing the weight. So now that I could just relax these next 3 days, I feel very good, very confident, very motivated. You see my son is very excited.
He's excited.
Too, so I'm just excited to go in there, give the fans a great fight, and leave with that title.
Just to talk about focus heading into a fight like this, I know Brian Custer asked you, but how are you when all of us fans can't help but talk about you and Charlo, you and Canelo, Plant? How are you able to stay focused on David Lemieux and not overlook him, David?
I feel like I just got to be focused on the job I have at hand. I got a big task in front of me, and I always take it one fight at a time. I know there's a lot of possibility of fighting all these other fighters after, but I got to take care of this first. And like I said, David Lemieux, he's no pushover. He's a great fighter. I have a lot of respect for that guy, and he's the only one who took the challenge. So he knows what's in front of him. I know what's in front of me. So it's just going to be a great fight. He's not going to be an easy fighter to take out, but I did everything extremely well, and I'm ready to go in there and get another KO victory.
Some fighters they'll like lock themselves away from family for fights, but you have your son and wife here. Why is that, David? Why?
I've been having him around. I didn't see him for almost 4 months, so I'm just happy to have my son around. He's been training with me the whole time. I locked myself away for training camp, and now everything is good. Now I'm just excited to be here and. We're 3 days away from fight night, or 2 days away from fight night, so I'm just excited.
I know.
David, your dad told me yesterday that he feels like David Lemieux is the most dangerous fighter that you face.
Yeah, definitely. He has a great resume. He has a lot of knockouts, and I feel like he's probably one of the most dangerous fighters I've fought. There's a lot of other fighters that could be more dangerous than him, but they're not taking the challenge.
Right.
So as of him and his record, his resume, and everything he's accomplished, I definitely say he's one of the most dangerous.
And the resume stands out, and you want to beat somebody who has that kind of resume on your resume.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely want to. He's a good name to have on my resume, and I've given him the respect he deserves. That's why I'm already on weight. You can tell. Everything is great. I did everything right, and I'm just ready to go in there and get a great victory.
For a fight of this magnitude, is this the furthest out that you've actually been on weight?
Nah, when I fought, after the fight, I had missed weight. I was on weight the Monday of. So, there was some things that you have to do, like drinking a lot of water and then learning when to cut it out. So, we followed the same exact recipe, and it worked again, so I'm just happy to be on weight already.
I'm sorry, I was asked to ask you this. David Morales has been talking plenty about you.
Yeah, but when
it's silly that you got to fight.
But that's how these guys are, man. They talk a lot of shit online. When I seen him in person in Texas, he had nothing to say. He shook my hand and gave me a hug. So, he could say all he wants online, but he's not telling me nothing in person. I definitely would. If that fight was offered to me, I would take it in a heartbeat.
So it doesn't need that marination process.
No, if he feels like he's ready, then tell him to talk to his managers and everybody, and we can make this fight happen after this one. I don't want any other fights no more. I want the big fights. I want the big names, So I feel like I've earned it. I've been champion twice. I'm fighting for another belt. So I've been wanting to fight the big fighters, the other big champions, but they're not willing to accept the challenges.
Will Lemieux be able to get past the jab and get past 6 rounds? Just being honest, Saturday night.
I don't know. We're gonna have to see. I don't want to go in there and sound really like I'm just gonna go in there and knock him out. Because sometimes a lot of people that you don't think are gonna give you problems. So we're gonna have to go in there and see what happens. But I don't know. I feel like I am gonna get him out of there. I just don't know what round.
Talking to Jamal Charlo over the weekend at the Charlo Castano fight, it seemed like so many people asking about you. It got him saying, "Okay, it's time. Let's do it. It's time to move up to 68." He didn't mention the 64 catch weight and everything. What do you think about that? And let's get it on.
I don't think anything about that until I get the contract or if the fight is made. A lot of these people just say stuff, or they're forced to say things when the camera's around. But then how much times he said that we're gonna fight? A lot of times. And nothing's happened yet. So until something happens, I don't know. Everything he says is just bullshit coming out of his mouth.
Well, talking to Ronnie Shields, his trainer, he was saying that well, why should we take that fight? It should be for something.
Exactly.
And I said, well, the WBC interim title's on the line. He said that wasn't enough to bring. What do you think?
I mean, I don't know what else does he want. I mean, he just wants a Canelo fight. He wants a big payday like that. But I mean, come on now. To be honest, you have to take a big risk to get that big reward. You know, if you're not fighting the face of boxing. And I feel like the biggest fight aside from Canelo for Charlo is me.
And for you as well.
Yeah, exactly. And then we all win from that. All of our stock goes up. That's what these people don't understand. They're too ignorant, and then they don't want to give anybody else credit. That they feel like, oh, I'm just the face of the show, and I don't need nobody. But that's not how boxing works. In order to get to the next level, I need Charlo, I need Caleb Plant, I need Canelo. You know, and that's just the reality of that.
So for every name you mentioned, a lot of guys have got plenty to say about you. How refreshing is it that someone like David Lemieux, like, you've shown each other a lot of respect?
Yeah, I mean, he's a nice guy. He's a nice guy, but I already know. I mean, we both know the job. You know, I feel like his personality is like mine. You know, I'd rather not really say much, but in the ring, we speak volumes in the ring. And, you know, I feel like that's exactly how he is. So it's refreshing to see somebody respectful for a change.
Would you know, just because we love thinking about something, would that be a goddamn war, you and Charlo? Would someone's head get taken off?
It definitely would be. And I feel like that's why I like these type of fights with these fighters, because they prepare me for a fight like that. I mean, that's the only thing I'm lacking right now. Is not really lacking, but I need more experience, you know, to fight at the higher levels. I mean, I definitely would put myself in the position. I feel like I'd win everybody, but I'd beat everybody. But the more experience you get, the better it is for you.
Well, one guy you had experience with was Anthony Durrell, winning the WBC the second time. If Caleb's going to do that fight, is that a competitive fight?
Exactly.
Who do you think wins
and
that
I have
fight?
something I could base the fight off of, and it's the things that work for Anthony Durrell could possibly work for Caleb Plant. So that's definitely the experience I'm talking about.
Who do you think wins that fight if that happens, though? Anthony and Caleb?
It might be a close fight. Durrell, he's not washed up. You know, he's a good fighter. You know, and I feel like a lot of people, they underestimate him, and then they end up losing. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's a good fight. It could be a 50-50 fight, but I mean, I think Caleb would win, but I wouldn't be surprised if Durrell beats him.
And David, with the mandatory challenger thing, I mean, just straight up, what is the likelihood or percentage chance of you facing Canelo if he wins?
I don't know. I mean, the last fight when I fought Ronald Ellis was a title eliminator, and usually what happens is after the title eliminator, you fight that, and it didn't happen. So I don't know. Canelo has his own things going on. You know, he's probably going to rematch Bivol or so. I don't know. Like I said, I'm just taking it one fight at a time. I got David Lemieux, and then whatever comes after that, we'll see what comes after that.
You were a champion before, so David Lemieux is not exactly a stepping stone. But how important is it for you to have a win against a fighter like him?
Well, having a win, David Lemieux on my resume is really good for my career because he's an ex-champion. He's been in there with the best of the best at 160, and he's coming up. So it definitely does mean a lot to me. Like I said, I have a lot of respect for him. I watched him since I was a little kid. I'm not a little kid, teenager, you know, and he's a great knockout. So just for me to fight somebody that I've been watching for a long time, it really means a lot to me, and it makes me realize that I'm on the right path.
You mentioned that he was willing to go at war, but neither of you like to have long fights. So what does it mean for you when he says a war?
Somebody's gonna get knocked out. That's exactly what that means.
Thank you, David.
You remember the first fight you saw him?
The first fight I saw him, it was probably when he fought in Canada. And back then he was known as the Canadian Mike Tyson. And I've been watching him a lot. I remember when he fought Gabriel Rosado. He fought, fuck is his name? Some Dominican guy. Yeah, Curtis Stevens, and then some Dominican guy.
What's that?
You know what I'm talking about, though, huh?
Yeah.
A lot of good. Yeah, he had a lot of good fights. A lot of good fights. So I mean, and then he fought Golovkin. Golovkin beat him, but he didn't really wipe him out. I mean, he kind of did, but you know what I mean. He was in there the whole time, so there's a lot of experience. So it's gonna do me a lot of good being in there with the fighter like that.
And just with Canelo for a second, some people were like, it was a cherry pick gone
Can I
wrong.
get a water?
Some people were saying it was a cherry pick gone wrong with Bivol, but other people said that was him daring to be great. You know. You fall in either category about what you thought of?
Yeah, I mean, I don't take nothing from Canelo. You know, he's a great champion, and he was daring to be great. It's just that I feel like he underestimated Bivol, and he believed his own hype. I think that's what it was, because after Bivol, you know, withstood the power, it looked like Canelo didn't really know what to do after. And that's what I'm talking about, believing the own hype. He thought he could hurt everybody he touches. And, you know, Bivol's a great fighter. He's a great fighter. I know that personally, and Yeah, I'm just happy for Bivol too. I mean, a lot of people didn't think he was gonna win, you know, so I'm just happy to see him doing what he's doing.
Thanks, David.
What's it like to fight again?